For 3 long years, an alien mother, Solaria, walked from door to door across cities, villages, and towns across continents, searching for one human. She wasn't just any alien. She was a mother on a mission to save her people, her world. Her people had once been powerful, advanced in ways that surpassed anything Earth had ever seen. But that all changed when a great curse was cast upon them, stripping away their powers and causing their civilization to crumble. Only one thing could save them. The one. A human, born on Earth, with a special connection to the universe itself. This human would possess the power to heal the broken worlds of her people. But no one knew who this person was. They only knew that this person's heart would be pure, filled with empathy, and capable of restoring balance to the universe. Solaria's journey began as soon as her planet's last hope had been revealed to her. She knew the search would be difficult. The human she sought could be anyone, so she arrived on Earth, knowing nothing but the prophecy and the belief that the one was somewhere here. She had no way of knowing who it would be, but she knew she had to find them before it was too late. In the beginning, she thought it would be easy. She would knock on doors, meet families, and perhaps find the one hiding among them. But as the years went by, Solaria's hope began to fade. She'd knocked on thousands of doors, speaking to families, asking about strange dreams or unusual connections to the stars. But each time, the people looked at her like she was crazy. "Are you lost?" one man had asked, a worried look on his face. "Do you need help?" "No, I am looking for someone," Solaria would reply, each time the same. "The one who can heal my people." The response was always the same. Polite confusion, blank stares, and then in most cases the door would quietly close. Solaria had grown used to the rejection, but it didn't stop her from continuing. She couldn't give up. Her people depended on her, and every door she knocked on brought her one step closer to the one. As the days turned into months, then years, Solaria began to realize something. The humans on Earth were not like her. They didn't understand her urgency, her purpose. They couldn't see the immense weight of what she was carrying, the fate of her people resting on her shoulders. But despite the many failures, something deep inside her urged her to keep going. She traveled to more cities, towns, and villages. She knocked on more doors, asking the same question each time. "Is the one here? Is the one among you?" And still the answer was always the same. No. It was during one of these many nights, in a small, quiet town on the outskirts of a busy city, that she would finally find a clue. A boy, someone unlike the others. His name was Ethan, a 14-year-old who had always felt different, though he couldn't explain why. He lived in a humble house with his mother and father, a simple family life. But every night, Ethan would lie awake staring at the stars, feeling a connection to them as if they were speaking to him, calling him. But from the moment Solaria knocked on his door, everything in his life would change. Ethan had just finished his homework when he heard a soft knock at the door. It was late and his parents were in bed. He wondered who could be visiting at this hour. He opened the door and was taken aback when he saw a woman standing there. Tall, her eyes a glowing shade of blue that seemed to shimmer with a mysterious light. She wasn't like anyone he had seen before. "Good evening, young man," she said, her voice soft yet powerful. "I am looking for someone. The one who can help save my people. Is he here?" Ethan stared at her in confusion. "I don't think you've got the right house," he said. But something about her presence made him feel uneasy, and yet strangely comforted at the same time. "I've been searching for years," Solaria continued, her voice filled with a quiet desperation. "The one is here, somewhere on this planet. He is a boy like you. Can you help me find him?" Ethan took a step back. He had heard strange stories, but this seemed too much. "I'm just a normal kid. I don't know what you're talking about." But Solaria wasn't looking for just anyone. She was looking for someone with a deep connection to the universe, to the stars. And in that moment, she saw something in Ethan's eyes, a glimmer of recognition, as though he had known even before she spoke, that something inside him was different. "I know it's hard to understand," Solaria said gently, "but you, Ethan, are the one I have been searching for." Ethan shook his head. "No, I don't understand." He looked past her, as if hoping to see some kind of answer in the night sky. "I don't even know what you mean by the one. I'm just a kid who likes stargazing." "I'm not special," Solaria smiled sadly, her eyes softening. You are special, Ethan, in ways you do not yet understand. Your connection to the stars, your ability to dream of faraway places, it's all a sign. You have a power inside of you. You are the one who can heal my world." Ethan's heart pounded in his chest. He had always felt different, but never this different. He had always wondered why he was so drawn to the stars, why he felt a strange pull whenever he looked at them. Was this what she meant? Was he really the one? "I don't know if I can help you," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "I'm just a kid. What can I possibly do?" Solaria's gaze softened even further, and she placed a hand on his shoulder. "You have more power than you realize. Your strength is not in fighting, but in understanding. You have the ability to connect with others, to heal and to restore balance. That is the power I need from you." Ethan felt his legs grow weak, unsure of what to do. He had always known there was something about him that was different, something he couldn't explain, but this was beyond his wildest imagination. "But why me?" "I'm just a kid." "Because you have the heart of the one," Solaria said gently, "and that is what matters most." As she spoke, Ethan's mind swirled with questions. His whole life had been ordinary until now. Was it really possible that he could help her? Could he be the one to save her people, to restore what had been lost? His head felt heavy with uncertainty. "I don't know if I can do this," he whispered. But deep down he knew something was changing inside him. The connection between him and the stars, the whispers that had always seemed so distant, were growing louder. Perhaps, just perhaps, he was ready for something more than he had ever imagined. Solaria looked into his eyes and knew. He was the one. It was only a matter of time before he would understand his true potential, and so, their journey began. This is the beginning of Ethan's path. A road filled with danger, confusion, and most of all self-discovery. The search for the one had taken 3 years, but it was only the beginning for Ethan. What would he choose next? And would he be able to live up to the hope that had been placed upon his shoulders? The adventure had just begun, and neither Ethan nor Solaria knew where it would lead. But one thing was certain: the universe had more in store for them than either could have ever imagined. The days following Solaria's visit to Ethan's house were filled with confusion and uncertainty. Ethan had always felt like there was something different about him, something he couldn't explain. But hearing Solaria's words, seeing the strange power in her eyes, it was more than he could understand. He had always looked at the stars and felt a connection, as if they were calling to him. But now, with this alien mother standing in his living room, telling him he was the one to save her people, Ethan wasn't sure what to believe anymore. For the next few days, Solaria stayed with Ethan and his family, though she never revealed much about herself. She was kind, but there was a sadness in her eyes, something that spoke of a deep, aching loss. Ethan's parents, although curious, did not question her. There was something about her that made them trust her, though they couldn't explain why. Solaria spent her time watching Ethan, studying his every movement, trying to see if he would show any signs of the power she had told him about. But Ethan was still just a normal boy, struggling with the reality of everything he had been told. Could he really have the power to heal an entire world? Could he really be the one? As the days passed, Ethan began to notice strange things happening around him. Little by little, things that had once felt ordinary began to feel extraordinary. He had dreams of faraway places, of distant stars, of a time long before Solaria's people had fallen into ruin. In these dreams he could see people, ancient, wise beings who spoke to him in a language he didn't know but somehow understood. They told him of his true purpose, of the power within him. They spoke of empathy, of balance, of peace. They showed him that the strength he would need to save Solaria's world didn't come from fighting, but from understanding. One evening, as Ethan sat on his bed, staring up at the stars, Solaria approached him. She had been quiet for the past few days, observing him, waiting for the moment when he would accept his role. "Ethan," she said softly, her voice gentle but firm. "The time has come. You must choose." Ethan turned to look at her. "Choose?" he asked. "Choose what?" "Choose whether you will embrace your power and come with me to save my people," Solaria replied, "or whether you will return to your normal life, leaving behind the responsibility that now rests upon your shoulders." Ethan's heart raced. He had spent days, even nights, wondering what he should do. The idea of leaving everything he knew, his family, his home, his life, was terrifying. But then again, the thought of letting Solaria's people suffer, of letting her world fall into ruin was even worse. He felt torn between the two choices. On the one hand, he was just a boy, he wasn't ready for this kind of responsibility. But on the other hand, the connection he had felt with the stars, the dreams, the strange abilities he had begun to unlock, all pointed to one undeniable truth. He was the one. He had been chosen for this mission, whether he was ready or not. "I don't know if I can do it," Ethan whispered. "I'm just a kid. I don't have the answers." Solaria knelt down beside him, her expression soft and understanding. "Ethan, no one ever feels ready for a challenge like this. But you are not alone. I will be with you every step of the way. You have the strength within you, and you will discover it in time. The question is not whether you can do it. The question is whether you are willing to try." Ethan sat silently, thinking about her words. He thought of his family, of his friends, of the simple life he had always known. He thought of the stars, of the strange dreams, and the growing power within him. The choice seemed impossible, but deep down he knew what he had to do. "I'll do it," Ethan said finally, his voice steady. "I'll help you. I'll help your people." Solaria smiled, a look of relief washing over her. "You have made the right choice, Ethan. Together we will restore balance. Together we will save my world." The journey that followed was not an easy one. Ethan and Solaria traveled across the globe, visiting hidden places and ancient sites where the energy of the universe flowed strongly. They were not alone on this journey. Solaria's enemies, the ones who sought to stop Ethan before he could unlock his full potential, were always one step behind. Ethan soon learned that his powers were not something he could simply control at will. At first he struggled with them, unable to focus or direct the energy within him. His dreams grew more vivid, more intense as the connection to the stars and to the universe deepened. Solaria taught him how to center himself, to focus on his emotions, on the people around him. She explained that his power was not about destruction but about connection. He could heal with his empathy, restore balance with his understanding. But as they moved deeper into their journey, the attacks began. Strange figures cloaked in shadows would appear and try to stop them. They were part of a group that sought to keep the curse on Solaria's people in place, to prevent the one from restoring balance. These enemies had powers of their own, twisted versions of the abilities that Ethan was learning to control. They used fear, anger, and violence to try and break him. Ethan's first real test came when he was forced to face one of these enemies alone. Solaria had been captured in a surprise attack, and Ethan was left to fend for himself. The enemy, a tall figure with glowing red eyes, stepped forward, raising a hand toward him. "Do you think you can stop me, boy?" The figure sneered. "You are nothing. You are weak. You have no idea what you're facing." Ethan's heart pounded in his chest. His hands shook, but then he remembered what Solaria had taught him. His power was not in fighting. It was in connecting. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and reached out. Not with his fists, but with his heart. "I don't want to fight you," Ethan said quietly. "I don't want to hurt you, but I will protect those I love." For a moment, the enemy paused. The shadows around him flickered as if they too were unsure of what to do. Ethan reached deeper, sending out feelings of calm and understanding. Slowly, the figure's anger began to fade. His red eyes dimmed and he lowered his hand. "This isn't what you want," Ethan said softly. "You don't have to fight. You don't have to be angry anymore." The figure stood still, then slowly backed away, disappearing into the shadows from which he had come. Ethan felt exhausted, but relieved. His power was growing stronger, but it wasn't through violence, it was through understanding. He was learning to see people for who they really were, to see the pain inside of them and to help them heal. When Solaria was freed, she was amazed at what Ethan had accomplished. "You did it," she said, her voice filled with pride. "You found the strength within yourself. You have saved not just my people, but yourself." As they continued their journey, Ethan's confidence grew. He had embraced his role as the One, and together with Solaria, he would heal her world. There would be more challenges ahead, but he was no longer afraid. He knew that he was ready. He was not just a boy. He was the One, and the universe had chosen him for a reason. The final battle was yet to come, but Ethan now understood something crucial. The real power lay in the connections he made, in the empathy he showed to others. He was no longer a boy caught in a world he didn't understand. He had become the One, not through force, but through the quiet strength of his heart. And as he looked to the stars once again, he knew that he was no longer just a boy. He was part of something much larger than himself, a force for peace, for understanding, and for healing. The journey was far from over, but Ethan was ready. Together, he and Solaria would restore balance not just to her world, but to the universe.